Good morning. We're going to go live. The Nikkei 225 is actually closed today, but we're going to trade every Monday regardless. And the index being closed, the Japanese stock market Nikkei being closed today, presents its own opportunities, rather unique opportunities. And so we will trade it regardless. And I'm going to do what I normally do in this scenario. It's going to take patience probably, because what I like to do when markets are closed is I like to trade the range. So let me just check that you can see this. Yeah, you can. So we're about 2 minutes away from what would be the market opening. And funny enough, even when the markets are closed, as the Nikkei will be in 2 minutes, it will still be closed. It's purely the futures that we're trading. There will be a load of people like myself turning up for what would normally be the open. And so there will be some more volume traded on the futures than there would have been an hour ago, for example. So we're watching it now. I'm looking at the 1 minute as normal. I like the 1 minute because the higher time frames have less of an impact and there's less noise. If you've got the daily, weekly, 4 hourly, hourly, 30 minutes, and you're taking a position that's going to last a long time, then you've got higher time frames that contradict one another, and you get less of that noise with the 1 minute. Now, as always, this is what I do, my opinion. I'm not offering advice as an educational window into what I like to do. So we have just opened the non-opening. It's turned 9 a.m. in Tokyo, and you can see that even though we're still trading the futures just like we were a few minutes ago, there's likely to be some change in the price action. So just prior to 9 a.m. Tokyo time, we were at, let me change that, hang on. We were at a new high in the couple of minutes preceding. The non-opening open, what would normally be the Monday morning opening, it has gone straight down for that first minute. And what I want to do is I want to trade the range. So I don't want it making new highs. I don't want it making new lows, or struggling to make a new high or struggling to make a new low. So I want to trade this gap in the middle at some point. That will probably be the trade tonight. And it might require some patience, because I very much doubt we'll have an opportunity that for example, it's very likely that a new low or a new high will retrace. But it's not always the case. It depends upon what other futures markets are doing, having been closed since Friday night, world news, the week ahead in regards to the financial calendar, what happened last week. So can't say anything with 100% certainty. So let's just watch it a minute and we'll see if we can get a feel for what's going to go on in the time we have together going forwards. So what I would really like to do, or rather like to see, is a trading range that's quite wide and very clearly defined. So we've got this band of resistance up here. And that goes back to Friday 6 p.m. UK time. And we've got some resistance here, but it hasn't not lasted for very long. So this band of this price action down here spans from 9-10 p.m. Friday to now. Okay, so this is interesting. So we're heading up now to that top line resistance, which goes all the way back to 6:30. But remember, this is a Monday morning, and Monday mornings, in my experience and in my opinion, tend to be quite bullish. I know that let's have a look at the daily now. We've had a horrible old time on the daily. 1, 2, 3, 4. We've had a week of selling pressure. And there's no sign that that's going to stop purely on the technicals. So that being the case, and we're nearing this resistance line, we might sell from here. We might do. Be quite brave at this point because we haven't entered a red period and we've gone green, green, green again. But it's not the right price to short. But the midline's pointing up. And you see, there is every chance that people are looking at the futures and saying, no, this is oversold. There's a huge gap here. It's time for a retracement. So I need a little more than I've got right now to actually short this. What does that mean? Oh. Sorry, notification on some of my technology. Yeah. This is interesting, definitely. We can't short it yet. Could go on a really nice strong bull run. People might have said, well, on the futures when the market closed, I don't know. This time, could do. I would have expected that it'd be more likely to head on upwards with some certainty from an actual market opening like the FTSE at 8 AM. But, so look, there's somebody there that doesn't think that it's this will be maintained. But there's the bulls going, this is oversold from last week. Anyway, I haven't seen a tradable opportunity yet. Especially when I lost 200 last week and 200 the week before. So I've got to really, be patient on this one. Not to say that what I did last week or the week before was wrong. It just didn't work out. There is a difference. What we're not going to get in this trading session is an amazing risk-reward ratio unless I get cast iron evidence that this is just going to go up and up and up and up from here, because the whole futures market in their huge numbers on a closed trading session decide to take this to the moon, and then at some point I will buy into this rally, but not right now, and it's not very likely. So if you've not watched the live stream before, my name is Matthew Jackson. I trade for GradTraders.com, and that is actually, it sounds as though I work for them. No, I trade for GradTraders.com, and I am the owner of GradTraders.com. And what I'm doing with this live stream is I'm trading every single week on a Monday morning in the UK, 9 AM Tokyo time. I'm risking £200 worth of simulated funds every Monday to give you an insight into what I actually do with real money. Well, what I do with real money is I trade multiple time frames. So this is a snippet of what I do. So it's for educational purposes, and it's quite interesting because I enjoy actually doing this. The hope is that you're going to enjoy it. I'm creating something that I would like to see more of. There is a lot of live streaming content, but you cannot see clearly anything. You cannot see the margin, you cannot see the equity, you cannot see what indicators they're using. I'm clearly using moving average convergence divergence down here, and I've got the Bollinger Bands here. It says very clearly that I'm trading the Nikkei 225, also known as the Japan 225. You can see that I'm trading with my broker here, IC Markets. And so it's just a lot more clearer. I just wish there were other people live trading that had much more clearer what's the word I'm looking for? desktop view. Okay, so the price has punctured above this line of resistance I was talking about, and I'm fully expecting it will fall back. So I think it will. So I'm going to take a trade now, I think. Depending on. Yeah, I like that. 64,928. Yeah, okay, so we're going to short this right now. Okay, so I think that although it's climbed slightly above that resistance line I was talking about, green MACD is waning. We're in the futures, we're not on an actual open day. And I think it's going to struggle to go up from here. I took the trade based off that candle there, that bearish engulfing candle. So I do actually need to see it going my way very, very quickly. And right now, as per usual, it's okay. It's starting to behave. Yeah. So we took the signal off here. This one. Pardon me. And we're hoping now that it will go down and stay below this yellow line. The £200 profit is there, £200 loss is there. And so that's it. So I think I've judged that it will fail to stay above this yellow line. We're on £44, £32, £30, 34, 36, 44, 51. So right now I could close this trade for whatever it says in that green box, just by pressing this X down here or there. But I prefer to close it at the bottom of the screen. It just seems a bit more reliable. So there's the 200 risk, there's the 200 profit. I'll just adjust that 197 to actually be 200. Let's actually do that. So I thought this was going to take ages, but I found my trade nice and quickly. So I've judged that it's going to find it difficult to stay above this yellow line. It's been a sort of an area of resistance since 6:30 on Friday. The market opened at 1 AM. We're only 15 minutes, 16 minutes from where the market would ordinarily open, and I think a few bulls came out of the woodwork thinking that the market was open and that last week was oversold, and I fully expect them to run away with their tail between their legs and this green MACD to go red and for my profit to be there. There's the £200 loss up there. I hope I'm not too quiet or too loud. It's quite a new thing this for me, but this was the easiest live stream that I've set up so far. It's getting a bit easier. So since we entered there at 113, we've hardly been in a penny loss. We've been up to £45 profit. We're on 29 now. We're in a new red MACD. We took that trade off the back of this bearish engulfing candle on the 1 minute chart because the Nikkei 225 hasn't opened today, it's at holiday. And we judged that this resistance here would be very supportive to a short right now. Now we've got our £200 profit target there. But the yellow line is here. So if we're being super ambitious, we would be risking 200 and getting 400, which is about as good as one could expect on a closed market holiday. I've moved down the profit target to somewhere near this bottom Bollinger, and I still think that's a bit pessimistic. I think we could hit this yellow price target area here without too much difficulty. Well, let's wait and see, shall we? So we're on £75 right now. So I could close it if I wanted for £81. And I do not want to lose any more money today. Okay, it's simulated funds, but I mean, I haven't started a live trading challenge to show everyone how they can lose £200 every week. Although that might be useful because you could just don't do this, but hypothetically someone might think, this guy is showing me exactly what not to do every single week. That is so educational. So the profit remains on 60 right now. 78, 84. If you've watched the last couple of weeks of the live trading, then you might be screaming at your phone or your laptop, take it, take it, take it. As last week and the week before, although we took the maximum loss in the end, we were at various points in profit, never exceeding the 200 that I was risking, but we were in profit. So now I'm going to take this seriously. We've got a bullish engulfing candle here, and we've got a midline pointing upwards. We've got a line of red MACD that might just want to bounce off this bottom Bollinger and head back up. But so I'm going to watch it carefully. On £122 right now. It's back under this yellow line, which will now act as resistance. And I don't really want it crossing it again, frankly. The midline of this 1 minute is pointing very much upwards. So there is going to be a lot of expectation now that we're going to have a weaker red MACD and that the price will go up from here. So, you know, it wouldn't be stupid to take some profit there and then wait to enter again. If this midline curves down, and you know, there's different ways to do this, but I think that not going to do that, because I think that this yellow line of resistance will hold up, and regardless of the midline Bollinger pointing upwards, I've got more faith in that yellow line. My position is above the yellow line by a good chunk, and if it went past the yellow line and went to here, I could exit a break even. So the risk reward from my analysis is hold, but we need to start seeing some candles piercing this bottom Bollinger Band here where I'm pointing at. Pretty sharpish. And I've got my £200 stop all the way in here. Look at that, out of space. What am I worried about? So since I entered at 113, we've spent 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've spent at least 10 of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We spent at least 10 of the 13 minutes in profit. We're on £139 now. What is that bottom yellow line? Let's have a look. Let's move it down there. Ooh, 400. If I hit that, that would eradicate last week's loss and the lots the previous week, which would put our balance back at 9, 10, 11, 12, 229. Yeah. We're on 170 right now, 185. The bottom Bollinger is turning downwards, and it was that midline pointing upwards that I was analysing versus this yellow resistance line that I talked about. I said I fancied the yellow resistance line to win, and the price is heading down for now. On the red MACD, it had a few shallow reds, and then we've got more reds. That's would ordinarily be good for our position. So we'll have to see what happens now. 187. 197. £197. So although we're trading with simulated funds, I'm treating this as if it were real money, and my my website, my reputation, my name is all over this. So I would I'm doing my best, believe me. And we're at £156 right now. The reason why I thought, right, let's switch it to a demo, simulated funds, is because most people that are interested in trading right now, and most people that are likely to be watching this, really shouldn't be trading real money. And you don't need to. If you want to learn, you want to understand what I'm doing here, the best place to do it is not with real money at all. It's with simulated funds, with a demo account. And if you go to www.GradTraders.com, I've got everything there for experienced traders like myself to complete beginners. We've got an educational section, we've got a software section, we've got a prop firm section, we've got a broker section, we've got obviously the live trading, and we've got a lot more in the pipeline. So we're on £150. So what I've got to watch out for here is if it doesn't go down to this yellow line, it might decide to start making a new see where these two yellow lines are here. There, a new channel might start emerging where this yellow line moves up to say here, and then this yellow line moves up to here, and then in which case I'm right at the bottom of the channel and I should be taking the £180. So I'm going to watch that closely. So it really does matter now what happens in the next few minutes, because if it doesn't keep going down very quickly, then I'm going to start worrying that there's a new channel that I should be worrying about. But I'm not worried yet. We've got a nice big deep red MACD here. I wonder if anybody's actually watching this right now. If you're there, hello. Hello from the UK. I'm sure there's a button here that will tell me, but I do not have my technical support with me today. It is me on my own. £256 right now. 280. So that would eradicate last week's loss and a chunk of the week before's. Oh, I saw 293 then, 290. So it's looking very likely at this stage that we're going to hit this bottom channel here, which is what we were hoping for. Hasn't happened yet though, so don't count my chickens. But 300 right now, we are not going to do worse today than break even. Because if it heads up here past this yellow line, I'll exit and I'll be waiting for hours for another clear channel of consolidation. I don't really want that. 286.98, and I've been working for half an hour. So I'm on 304 now, but I've lost 400 last week, 200 last week, and 200 the week before. But 300 right now would take me into overall profit since we began. This is the 6th episode. So if I took that money right now, I would be in profit. I'm waiting. I haven't, every Monday I'm hoping for that opportunity where I'm going to see a 13, 14, 15 to 1 risk reward. It will happen, so keep tuning in because eventually it'll happen. I won't just lose 200 every week, he says. So we're on 283, 328, 326, 322. So 322 right now. If you haven't already, go to www.GradTraders.com. Not right now, keep watching this video. But after you've watched the video, this is live stream right now, but it's gonna be there for you to watch later. Not many people in the UK are up at 1 a.m. doing this. But visit GradTraders.com and check it out because there's some great offers on prop firms and software and goodness knows what. We're doing everything we can to increase partnerships. It's difficult because we're in early stages, but we've got some fantastic partnerships and some exclusive offers. And we've got some very, very, very high quality editorial content. Much, much more than what is commonly out there amongst our competitors. But all of this obviously has cost a lot of effort. So go and check it out. £300. £300. And I hope that you can join me every Monday and follow this channel and see how I'm getting on, because every Monday I'm going to risk £200. And there's something for beginners to learn, there's something for intermediates to learn, there's something for the very best to learn. There's always something to learn in trading. Even if you are the best trader in the world and I watch every trading video personally, and I think that guy's doing this wrong, that guy's doing that. But you watch people to realize what they're doing right and what they're doing wrong. Okay, so we're on £280. So yeah, if you're one of those people who just doesn't like me, doesn't like my trading style, I'm crazy doing the 1 minute, what am I thinking? Watch my videos every Monday and remind yourself, sometimes of what not to do. and I totally can appreciate that perspective. There are lots of downsides to trading the 1 minute chart. Lots. But right now I'm on £250. I've been working for 36 minutes. And I am hoping that it will hit that yellow line at the moment. And if it does, I will be done trading this. And I'm going to have a day off tomorrow. And I'm going to carry on watching my movie. Which, if you're interested, I'm halfway through The Godfather on Amazon. Right, so now I'm starting to worry a little bit. We've got light red MACD here. We're having a run at this midline Bollinger. My profit is on £200. Now, I would rather take £200 now than see this price action start crossing that midline Bollinger, even though I felt confident it would hit this yellow line. So I've told you clearly what I'm going to do now. It's got to keep going down from here, otherwise I'm going to take close to £200. Okay, so we're at the point where we're going to close 180. Okay, we've closed it for 180. We had £300 odd down here, but it inexplicably decided to go back up to that midline and worry me. And the final profit, I think, was 180. But look everybody, our account balance is on 1,010. So we started off 6 weeks ago with 1,000. So I've made £10.49 in 6 weeks. So if that doesn't make me a guru, I don't know what does. Now, if it's going to head back down here, and we're going to have a bearish engulfing here, shall I re-enter? Because it didn't stay above that midline. It's part of the same trade. We've got 15 seconds until this closes. That's not a bearish engulfing candle. No, it's looking like I'm going to have to take my 184 and be happy with that. It's right in the middle of between these two yellow lines at the moment. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Very confident downward movement, because it's not hit this area of resistance yet. I've re-entered. Let's watch it closely now. We've got another £40 there showing. $40, 15, 8, 6, 12, 10. We had this bearish engulfing candle here, which took us away from the midline. And we hadn't hit our target down here on this yellow line. And I think it's either going to hit this yellow line or hit this yellow line. And we've got £50 profit there, so that would probably take us about 230. Because we closed that initial position for 180. So now it's threatening to have another run at that midline Bollinger. We took our position off the back of this bearish engulfing candle. thinking that it's going to make up its mind and head down to this yellow area here. If it starts flirting with this midline again, I'm going to have to close it again. It would be good if it just did what it was supposed to do with all. But there we are. Just going to have to be a little bit patient here. I'll put a take profit order so you can see where I'm aiming for. There we are. So we closed that position earlier for 180. We're on 60 now. Around about this yellow line, we're on another 180 odd. Alright, it's showing a 90, which is quite tempting. But look, red, MACD. Shallower though here. But it could have gone green there. And it was above the midline. And it didn't want to. We had that huge bearish engulfing. Then we re-entered. We're on 111 here. We already took 180. So if I took this, we'd be on 280. And we were on about 300 earlier. So we're getting very close to the profit target line. Can you imagine if this didn't hit now? So near. $180. We're fractions away from it. We're on 161. There we go. Thank you. Right, so that's good. Everything's beeping. So we're on 11.95. This is the 6th day, or the 6th episode, or the 6th week. It's the 6th Monday anyway that we've traded together. With you guys tuning in. I really appreciate all the views and shares. I've not really had many subscribers. If you're one of the few that have subscribed, thank you very much. But I've had loads of shares. I've had like 50 odd, 60 odd shares, and I really appreciate that, because that's guys and girls saying, check out what this crazy guy is doing. He's trading the 1 minute chart every Monday. Well, thank you very much. So we've pretty much made. The one thing about TradingView is it is terrible for showing you it's just terrible for showing you the exact amounts of money that you've closed. I have like every other. I mean, I love TradingView, and I'll always trade through this, because I can quite clearly see I've taken 180 and I've taken another 180. I can quite clearly see what I'm doing. But in terms of showing you guys, anyway, you've seen We started off with an account balance of 800 approximately earlier on, and now we're on 1195. 6 Mondays ago we started off with 1,000. We lost 200 last week, we lost 200 the week before, so we're now back above our starting balance, which is great. We've got a bullish candle here, and it's a bullish engulfing and it's right by this area I told you of resistance, and I had a feeling it would just bounce around between these two areas. So it wouldn't be stupid to take a long here. So I might risk some of it on a long. So we've taken a long position. Normally we just do one position every Monday. But because we took the profit here on this yellow line, and because we've had straight away this bullish engulfing candle, I'm just going to hold this new bullish position just for a short while, just to make a little bit of extra money, and then we'll call it a night. But we normally do the one position on the Monday. Well, I don't know. I'm here on the Monday. If I'm here, I'll be here to try and make money. So 24, 26 off this, going off the back of this bullish engulfing candle thus far. So yeah, it could go wrong. If it goes below this yellow line, then it's gone wrong. We're going to lose some of our profit from earlier. Tired MACD round down here. This red MACD is very shallow. Looking like it could do with a bit of a spell in green, which is obviously good for our position. Watch that there. It's very shallow. Doesn't really want to go green yet. Hopefully it will change its mind and start heading back up here somewhere. I mean, it's very... the other thing I liked about this trade is to have such a shallow red MACD there, and then another shallow red MACD. Obviously we had a deeper red here, but to go very shallow red MACD again and then deeper red again, that's a very, especially with the price action not far away from this midline, that's very, very supportive of price action favouring us in the next 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes. I haven't yet in this trading session made up what I lost last week and the week before. And as I've explained, it's a very good opportunity. However tempting the Godfather might be right now, on the pause screen right in front of me. I cannot watch the Godfather and talk to you guys. So we're on, well, we were on £2 and we're now on £6. It's going to burst higher any moment. Any moment now. It's almost as though it can hear me. Minus 28. Remember, we've closed over 300. Profit in this session rather. Right. Now this is worrying. But we've got to see what the next minute does. We're in the new minute now. We've gone red, green, red again. Green again on the MACD I'm discussing here. Let's put the stop loss in. So we're going to put a stop loss on this of £200. And then we're going to hold it until, that's wrong. What am I looking at here? Here we are. Put the stop loss £200. We've made 300 so far, there or thereabouts. Confirm. So if I zoom out a bit, you can see the 200 is sat down there. If it hits that, then it's gone way below that yellow line. And that yellow line is our resistance. And I don't want to hand back all the 300 plus. And I won't be doing that even if I were to lose this long. And would have been nice to not see this bearish engulfing candle here. When we were in green MACD, it would have been nice in a consolidation futures pattern to have just punctured that and headed up back up here. I still think it's going to do that, but it's just taking its time. Still think it's going to do that. It's making me wait. So we're on minus £35 on this. This is the third trade I've made in this session. So the first trade we closed for 180. The second trade I think we closed for 160. And this is the third one. If you go back to the beginning of the video, the account balance down here was 800 and something because we lost 200 last week, 200 the week before. And now we're on 1195. We started 6 weeks ago with 1,000. We entered again after selling. We short sold up here. We short sold there where that red arrow is. We took our profit there, first one, because of this midline threatening to create a new channel. That new channel was fundamentally rejected with this bearish engulfing. Then we re-entered the short, took a profit down here at the resistance, re-entered on the back of this bullish engulfing candle. And we're supposed to be just holding this bullish position, this bull position, whilst it went green MACD here. It would go fly through this midline, head up back up to here somewhere, and we would be sat on extra profit. But despite the price action being far from a convincing bullish trend, it refuses, absolutely point blank refuses as yet to stay above this midline. And now the midline's looking like it wants to dip even more, potentially shattering my resistance here and costing me £200 if I let it run that far. So yeah, just never-ending stress. We're in a new set of green MACD. Pardon me. Keep drinking this. It's very nice tropical cider. Very nice. Okay, so the price action is heading upwards soon. That's the best way to describe it. Will you hurry up and go up? No, it won't. So we're in a green MACD, and I'm just waiting for this price action to start changing into our favour. You can see this yellow line of resistance here. The thing is, it has punctured it a few times quite. Where's my stop? No, it's punctured the resistance, but it hasn't gone as far as my stop. Oh, I just turned off the microphone then to spare you from a massive burp. Right, we're heading up, £1.37. We were on minus £1.37 then. This is better. Gone through the midline. As soon as I said that, we've gone through the midline, and we're on the green MACD. It's heard me about the resistance here, doesn't want to go past it. And yeah. We're not very far away from this top Bollinger, which could act as resistance and stop us getting anywhere up here. So I might just take the money around here and get an extra 50, 60 quid. The green MACD is starting to exhaust. Alright, touch that top Bollinger. I missed that moment. But if the price action stays above this midline, it's going up. And it's above the midline at the moment. Not anymore. 30 seconds before that minute candle was registered. Okay, I'm going to step away from the mic for 10 minutes. I'm going to leave this on the screen for you. There's our stop. There's the resistance. There's the profit. Okay, back shortly. Okay, so I'm back. £50 profit right now. £50. You can see the yellow line there. £115. £74, £91. I think we're going to go back up to this yellow top line here. We might not, but I can't see any reason to close the position yet. I've been a bit cheeky and moved onto the sofa, so the microphone position has all changed, which I was specifically told not to do, but I'm hoping that you can hear me all right. By my advisors. £100. Keep heading up, please. Yeah, so these closed trading sessions are always quite interesting. And I certainly like them for this kind of trading. There's so many ways you can do well in trading. It's ridiculous, but it takes a lot of knowledge and it takes a long time. And unfortunately, a lot of traders come unstuck because they're really good traders. Well, they would be really good traders, but they love gambling too much. Now, and if you, as good as you are as a trader, if you love gambling, it's the one thing will cancel out the other. Right, so we're on £122. I've got a section that I'm building on my website, GradTraders.com, which is going to be focused on what do traders do with, how do they diversify their wealth. And obviously I'm not a financial advisor, but so it's an opinion piece. Yeah, I'm going to have some great articles there. I've written a few already. Okay, so we're about midway between these two yellow bands of resistance, and then we've got this massive bearish candle moving against my position, and I don't like it. So I'm not going to panic too much yet, unless it crosses the midline Bollinger here. And then it might be a case of probably should have taken that here. But it's a funny place to stop. That is an odd place to stop. If that is the new resistance there, then it's just going to create the I'd say it's unlikely at this point. Especially we've got this green MACD here, and then darker green MACD, bigger MACD candles, price action that was really good, heading up towards this line. A top here would seem unlikely. But if it goes down to red MACD, we'll be down here again. And we've got every chance of a new top emerging somewhere and another new bottom.
and I did just enter this trade for a bit more money. So we don't want it to cross this midline here, because if it crosses that midline, I'm out. Yes, I was hoping it would go to this yellow line, but it might not do that before crossing this midline here, and it just isn't worth the risk at that point if it crosses there and closes below this midline. So we'll watch it closely now. The good news is the price action's above the midline, and every minute it stays above the midline, this midline's getting higher, which means my worst case scenario is getting higher. The bad news is we've got a few waning green MACD bars here. Okay, so I think I might just have to close this now. It's dipped. It dipped very, it didn't need to do this, but it did. It went ever so slightly beneath the midline. And now look, boom. It didn't need to do that. It did. I've closed it. So yeah, we had another, I don't know, 100 odd up here, but we've taken 20. So we're on 1218. That's it for me. Matthew Jackson at GradTraders.com. Please tune in every Monday morning at 1 AM and don't sleep all night and watch this. Failing that, watch the recap, which will always be available on the website or on YouTube. If you're wondering where the highlights that were promised, that come out every Friday in a 3-week, running a 3-week deficit, we've decided to scrap the highlights. It takes a lot of work, and quite honestly, you're missing out on too much of, there aren't necessarily a lot of highlights. It's a question of absorbing everything in the round, so you're better off watching the whole live stream and so that's what we've decided. And if you want the little sort of 60 seconds here and 60 seconds there, then you've got the shorts that will come out and just let you know where we took the position, or what the outcome was. But if you want to know more than that, then yeah, just catch up on the live stream. Okay, I'm Matthew Jackson. Thank you very much for joining me, and head over to GradTraders.com and check us out there. And I'll see you next week. Thanks a lot, guys.